Lamar Jackson shocked the football world this afternoon by announcing he has formally requested a trade away from the Baltimore Ravens, confirming that contract talks between Lamar and the Ravens organization are going absolutely nowhere. We've done plenty of Lamar Jackson content over the past month or so. On the weekend, we did, for a Baltimore Ravens perspective, if they moved on from Lamar Jackson, what if they could land a perfect replacement in Anthony Richardson in the 2023 NFL Draft? I've also done a video where I put Lamar Jackson on the Vegas favorites for landing spots just to see in each one of those scenarios. We did the Panthers, we did the Falcons, we did the Jets, I think we had the Patriots in there for one, and we just tried to see what was the best potential landing spot for Lamar Jackson. But today, someone suggested on my Twitter a different team that actually has the draft assets to make a trade to land Lamar Jackson, that actually could offer a somewhat viable Band-Aid quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens if they can't go draft one in the 2023 NFL Draft. And it's all I've been able to think about this afternoon. I was like, what do I want to record for today's video? This is the only thing that I want to do. So today, we're going to see what would happen if the Baltimore Ravens traded Lamar Jackson to the Detroit Lions. So I'm going to get to a point with this rebuild that I'm going to try and sign everybody that the Detroit Lions have signed so far in free agency. So that leaves me to try to get Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, David Montgomery at running back, as well as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But it all needs to start with a new contract for Lamar Jackson. If they made this trade, Lamar would definitely be getting himself a brand new contract. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to give him a player-friendly deal, 6 seasons, $1 trillion, and Lamar gets paid rightfully the contract that he has earned in the NFL. Here's our first look pre-draft, and we're going to be using a realistic 2023 draft class of our Detroit Lions with Lamar Jackson. Yeah, Lamar. So there you go. You finally have yourself a true successor to Matt Stafford. No disrespect, Jared Goff definitely punching well above his weight class last season. Thought he was really good. He was borderline a good quarterback last season, but I think as much stock as you could be like, well, maybe there's something there with Goff, maybe he's having a career revival, I think there's also some validity to the fact that the Detroit Lions offense is just very good and really underrated. They have an outstanding play caller that's likely going to be a head coach sooner than later, and why wouldn't you strike while the iron's hot and try to get Lamar Jackson? It's not like you're giving up, a top 5 pick, giving up 2 mid-round picks, giving up a nice Band-Aid stopgap quarterback, whatever, in Goff to the Ravens, so they can deal with their quarterback situation accordingly and not have to rush to get Lamar's replacement right away and still have a lot of draft capital. It really is just a win-win. So we're going to entertain the idea of what Lamar Jackson would look like on the Detroit Lions. As much as I would hate that as an Eagle fan, I don't want Lamar Jackson coming anywhere near the NFC, because right now it's absolutely incredibly one-sided towards Jalen Hurts being the best quarterback in this entire conference. But Lamar comes and it muddies the waters a little bit. I think that is a very dangerous get for the Detroit Lions. The rest of it, we got a backfield here. David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams are wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Probably could look at improving wide receiver 3. Offensive line is outstanding. One of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Decker, Jackson, Ragnow, Big V, and Sewell. Definitely need to get a tight end. Luckily, it's an incredibly strong tight end class, and we're likely going to be investing our first pick, which is, I believe, in the 2nd round, on the best tight end available. Looking at the defense, I know the Detroit Lions kind of run like a 4-2-5, so we're going to try to replicate that as best as I can here. We got Hutchinson, Al-Muzariki, Ali McNeil, and Acquire on the D-line, Rodriguez, Anzalone, and I'm going to go Houston as like our kind of pass rush linebacker. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, an outstanding get from the Philadelphia Eagles. You pair that with Kirby Joseph, Jeff Okudah, Cam Sutton, and Emmanuel Mosley, and this secondary is a lot better than what it was a season ago, and it needs to be because their defense was absolute butt cheeks last season. But it just kind of feels like with the moves they made this offseason, if they are able to entertain a fantasy idea and get and acquire the services of Lamar Jackson, the Lions are going to be absolutely terrifying next season. So in the 2nd round, we're going to draft an outstanding tight end, which I assume there's some reason you can't spell Laporta, but we get Sam Laporta from Iowa. Not necessarily TJ. When I watch him, he reminds me a little bit of Dallas Goedert with the Philadelphia Eagles. Just really good run after the catch. Great athlete. As you can see, And I think he's going to be good. I don't think there's going to be a dev trade here, but I think we're going to be dealing with a player that's going to be well into the 70s and is going to have a lot of opportunities to grow and develop, because we know Lamar Jackson loves his tight ends. Like, oh man, how are the Detroit Lions going to survive getting up 2 first-round picks? Well, they got 2 second-round picks as well. And we're going to kind of go BPA here a little bit. And Cam Smith is still on the board. First, second-round projected corner, 3 Bs, man, press, and zone, 6 feet tall. You got to figure Mosley's only here on a 1-year deal. I didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Jeff Okudah, so adding some nice depth to the corner room is going to be nice. And he pops with a dev trade. Let's go. So here's a look at our draft class. No double first-round picks. So, I mean, in a way, it's like, all right, did we just kind of eventually trade Matt Stafford for Lamar Jackson? Did we trade? I mean, I don't know. It's the context. Like, did we trade Stafford, who did go on to win a Super Bowl, but did we trade like an aging, declining Matt Stafford, and we're able to find a way to just straight up get a new franchise quarterback right away in the prime of his career? It's kind of what you have the value there. So we got Sam Laporta at the first pick in the second round. He's 71 normal dev. Cam Smith, unreal value at pick 24, 75 with a hidden dev. I got Jaquelin Roy in the third round. I probably overvalued Sewell, just trying to reunite the brothers. He's a 69, wasn't our best pick. We got Jaden Reed and Marvin Mims, some nice depth there at wide receiver, both popping as a 71. And then I finished with a nice little Canadian bias pick here in Chase Brown out of Illinois. But there's a very good shot that Laporta and hell, even Cam Smith might be able to start as rookies on this team. It's kind of funny here, year 1. We meet the Baltimore Ravens and looking like life beyond Lamar Jackson. A little bit tough for Baltimore, 0-5. Pay him, just pay him. And roughly midway point of year 1 of the Detroit Lions. Lamar Jackson, Aaron, we were tied to the Green Bay Packers, 8-3 top of the division. Unfortunately, a week 11 loss against the Green Bay Packers was an opportunity that we could have gained a 2-game lead. But it is what it is. It's going to be competitive. It's going to come down to the wire. Let's take a look at our contracts here. We have $79 million of available salary cap. That's not too bad, considering that we have our quarterback paid for. We'll take Jonah Jackson first up on the offensive line. He's looking for a 2-year deal. Let's give him a 3-year deal. He's pretty serviceable. What? He only wants 2 years. Okay, interesting. Jeff Okudah, kind of expensive. DeAndre Swift, I like DeAndre Swift. Usually when I play the Detroit Lions, I like to develop DeAndre Swift. But with the Lions signing David Montgomery, and we just can't sign and afford everybody, probably gonna let him walk. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, just terrible agents. How he ended up in Detroit from Philadelphia is what it is. He cashes out. Detroit, we're gonna pay him. We're gonna give him a 5-year contract extension, and we'll come back to the table on Jonah Jackson as well. And oddly enough, right before I was just going to get after Jonah Jackson, we have a potential breakout scenario for Jeff Okudah. I didn't even consider extending Jeff Okudah to a brand new contract. But if he's playing that well, that he could potentially get a dev trait, why not maybe cash in on a highly touted corner and hopefully get superstar? And that contract is going to pay for itself. So we got Jonah Jackson. He's only looking for a 2-year deal. He wants to hit the market again. So we'll go 4.5. What? You want more years? Okay, we'll give him a 4-year deal and get this one over the line. And we handled the Dallas Cowboys. Absolute shootout. Probably not giving up 35 points. They hit the dev trade for Jeff Okudah. And that's right in line. But either way, still happy with that contract. Late in year 1, Aleem McNeil, our starting defensive tackle. I think he's like 74 normal dev. Pops with a star dev. So maybe that's one less position I need to go address. Because right now I'm thinking probably get a big V replacement at right guard this offseason. And I did want to improve the interior of the defensive line. Maybe not, or maybe you only need 1 instead of getting 2 new defensive tackles with McNeil breaking out here. With an impressive Week 18, 37-31 victory over the Bucs, who are a tough assignment. The Detroit Lions finished 12-5. However, the Green Bay Packers were absolutely nuclear this season, going 13-4. So we did not have a divisional title. But what happened here? Who got the weekly award here? It's probably Lamar. Would love seeing Lamar. It was Rodrigo. 8 tackles, interception, forced fumble. Getting a defensive player of the week. That's cool. But let's take a look. How did Lamar Jackson play in his first season? Because obviously we didn't change the playbook any, so it's an awkward fit. You're relying on him as a thrower, but more than enough arm talent to operate within structure, I think. And it's just, that would be probably the case if he made a move to Detroit. They wouldn't completely retool the offense like the Ravens. I think you'd have some level of expectations of Lamar working with what already exists in Detroit. But we got 4,700 yards passing, 32 touchdowns to 9 picks. He also, I just didn't run the football. 261 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's not bad for an offense that doesn't run the football with a quarterback. 6 and 9 for Swift, 1,100 yards, 17 touchdowns for David Montgomery. Clearly our running back one going forward. 100 catches, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns for Amon-Ra St. Brown. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns for Jameson Williams. Laporta, the rookie tight end out of Iowa, 73 catches, 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. Dan Campbell, a former tight end, is going to know how to maximize a young talented tight end like Laporta. So that is awesome. Even Jaden Reed, the speedster out of Michigan State, with a respectable year. Defensively, Rodrigo and Kirby Joseph both going over 100 tackles. Rodrigo might get himself a dev trait. 109 tackles, 4 picks. That's interesting. Aiden Hutchinson getting after it. 81 tackles, 18 TFL, 17 sacks. That is outstanding. Ali McNeil, 6 sacks. Houston, 4.5. Definitely not getting, the other pass rush that we're hoping for. But as long as we have at least one dominant player, I'm not going to complain too much. 3 picks there for Jeff Okudah. Great year from him. 2 for Cam Sutton. A couple singles. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, 82 tackles and an interception. Hopefully he doesn't lose his superstar dev. That'd be annoying because we kind of, for his contract extension, paid for him to at least be a superstar dev for a minute. MVP goes to Josh Allen with Lamar Jackson coming in at number 7. In the rest of the NFC Outs Play of the Year, we got, let's just more so look for some Lions here. Laporta, number 4 in Offensive Rookie of the Year voting. It's fine. Best quarterback. Wow. I mean, yeah, Lamar didn't have a crazy year, but I thought he did a little bit better than the 5th best quarterback in the division. For wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown coming in number 4. Aiden Hutchinson, runner-up. I mean, anytime you runner-up, it's likely going to be Aaron Donald. You're not going to complain too much. But no individual award winners, even though I was very impressed with the numbers that we had here with Detroit. So we made the playoffs. Wow, Detroit in the playoffs. Things you do not say a whole lot. And I say that firmly as somebody, like if you told me, C4, you had to pick a team to root for in the NFC North, I'm probably picking the Lions. I mean, I don't have, this is one of the few divisions that outside of the Minnesota Vikings from how they handled themselves when Philly played them in the playoffs. The Bears, the Packers, the Lions, I'm indifferent. I don't hate or cheer for really any of those teams. But you know what? I think I would cheer for Detroit. If you say, they paid their dues. Since I've been a fan, at least I've seen every other team in this division have success. The Bears went on some deep runs during like the Rex Grossman years, Jay Cutler years. They at least were making the playoffs. The Packers clearly with Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings, like I'm thinking peak Adrian Peterson. Maybe we threw Brett Favre in there. But Detroit's always kind of sucks. So it'd be cool to see Detroit be good. And hopefully we can start it off here with Lamar Jackson. First round of the playoffs against the Seattle Seahawks. And we handle business 23-13. Impressive. What wasn't the shootout of the NFC East matchup there. But 23-13, defense did their job. Offensively, Lamar Jackson protected the football. We, clean game. Sam Laporta, the rookie, having a great debut in the playoffs. Aiden Hutchinson, sack and a half. I'm not going to complain as we are rolling to the divisional round where we are going to take on and figure out right away who the true best team is in the NFC North. 12-5 Lions, 13-4 Green Bay Packers. And in year 1 of our Lamar Jackson Detroit Lions rebuild, we are a game away from the Super Bowl. And we are taking on Anthony Richardson and the Atlanta Falcons. Looking at this one, 28-24. We're playing a lot better than expected. Lamar went off, 3 touchdowns, almost 400 yards passing. Let's go, Laporta! He's just Mark Andrews. He is Mark Andrews right now in this defense. I love it, at least for this playoff run. We got some pressure after the quarterback. Kirby Joseph with an interception. If we can win I don't even know what to do if we can win a Super Bowl year 1. Honestly, I'm recording this on Monday. It's going to look weird because I kind of talked about the tweets and stuff in the beginning. Right now, my plan is for this video to go up on Tuesday. But honestly, if we can win the Super Bowl year 1, we might just burn through the last 4 years and just see what happens. We are in the Super Bowl in year 1. Detroit. It's Madden. Yes. Detroit. Just do it. Just trade for Lamar. All right, it's one of those things that almost just feels like, from my conversations with Lion fans, like they don't want to upset Jared Goff. It's fucking Jared Goff, all right? He played well for you. He's been a complete pro. He'll be a complete pro, understanding that you can get Lamar Jackson. He knows he's not Lamar Jackson. Jameson Williams, 134 yards in the championship game. Curry Joseph, back-to-back games with interceptions. And here we are in the Super Bowl. Year 1. This is insane. Because we're in the Super Bowl, we can look at our dev traits from this season that was. Actually, pretty surprised David Montgomery didn't get that boost. He had like, 17 touchdowns? But on the offense, Amon-Ra St. Brown is up to an X factor. Sam Laporta got off his normal dev, and he is finishing his rookie season with a star dev trait. On the defensive side of the ball, I saw this when I was spending my upgrade points. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson did lose his superstar, but we just kicked that to Kirby Joseph. I'm fine with that. Rodrigo goes from star up to a superstar. On the defensive line, Aiden Hutchinson goes from superstar to an X factor. One of the best pass rushers, young or old, in the NFL right now. That is huge for him. And how did I miss that? On the defensive side, Cam Smith came out as superstar dev. Fell out of the first round, was a first, second round grade corner. Fell out of the first round, fell under a lap in the second round, and he was a superstar dev all along. Nice. All right, so let's just run it. There's Lamar. There's the Super Bowl. They're in the same room at least. Can we take down Justin Herbert and the Chargers to win a Super Bowl? And this goes from can we finally win a Super Bowl with the Detroit Lions to can we build a dynasty with the Detroit Lions? Opening quarter, both teams kind of flex their muscles here a little bit. Chargers get a touchdown lead, but I trust our offense to, those aren't the last points we're going to score. We kick the field goal, kick back-to-back field goals in the first half, down 1 into the second half. Defense is playing pretty well. 3 straight field goals and a turnover. Oh my God, we're going to win the Super Bowl in year 1. I didn't just jinx it, did I? Did I just jinx it? We just missed a field goal. Minute 13. I just jinxed it. No, I didn't! Yes! 1 year's all it takes. Is that a song? 1 year is all it takes. That's all you need. 2 first-round picks and Jared Goff. Would it cost more than that for Detroit to get Lamar Jackson? You might need to throw a future first, future third, or something like that. But look at the results. You cannot deny the results. 1 year. We did the same free agency moves, right? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, David Montgomery. We still had decent draft capital, 2 second-round picks, able to draft a rookie tight end that got 1,000 yards, able to draft a corner that fell out of the first round, was like a bubble first, second-round corner, comes out superstar dev. Literally the perfect role, and Lamar Jackson right there, Detroit Lion fans. Get on board with it. It might happen. It might happen. I would say right now, I would consider Detroit, if Lamar is going to be gone, top 3, because they need a quarterback. Maybe they're not going to be super aggressive, but I just figure in terms of team needs, in terms of what they could give up to get Lamar Jackson, Detroit's as perfect of a spot as you can get. And as you see right there, year 1 of a 5-year rebuild with Lamar Jackson. We win the Super Bowl in year 1. So I have done in years past. We've just cut it off at this point, and we rock and roll with it. People like to see more years, right? They want to see longer. We'll give you longer. We're going to go 4 more seasons, and we're going to see if we can build a dynasty. To start the offseason, as much as I love the guy for what he did for my Philadelphia Eagles, there's just no way we're keeping Big V. We're freeing up $8 million, and we're going to find a brand new right guard this offseason. Same goes for Tracy Walker. Decent player. He's been borderline underrated his career. But with the breakout of Kirby Joseph and us extending Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I'd rather, the $5-ish million of cap this clears up as well. So in free agency, I went big, and I actually don't know how we lost on a win-in. We had the tie for best offer. We're the defending Super Bowl champions. He's clearly what we want at guard, and he chooses the Houston Texans. But we were able to land Devin White at middle linebacker, so that's going to be our upgrade over Alex Anzalone. But, we still now have a big-time opening at guard. I didn't want to get Lindstrom because, obviously, he signed a big-time extension with the Falcons. So, yeah, we're going to need to draft a guard and defensive tackle. Those are going to be our top. Ooh. How far are we at? Can we get him on a neutral? Where does neutral take us on Derek Brown? It puts us right in the contention. I was just going to say we could draft a defensive tackle. And he goes to Baltimore. All right, yeah. That worked out well in this video. Going from Baltimore to Detroit. Yeah, let's go to Baltimore and not come to Detroit. What an idiot. Terrible agent. All right, so we are in the first round. I picked 32. Look at this value pick. We need a guard, and we found a day 3 projection that is a first round talent. That's going to be value. We have to wait a little bit. I think third wide receiver is another position, and there's actually some decent looking players. I scouted some of the fast guys. CJ Blade down here was pretty quick, but ultimately, I think we might just need to go John Morrison. We have the B release, 6'3", 226. Kind of built differently than Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So we can get that guard later. We can get our third wide receiver. We also need defensive tackle. It's really the other big position to need. And we got your cheesy 350, 330 nose tackle guy here in Brian Jones, which honestly, if we can get him in the second round, I would consider it. But look down here. There is a massive, truly massive human beings down here in Dion Foster. 6'4", 350, a tackle with 45 reps on the bench press. So that's a value pick. We can wait and get that. So we are going to start. You just saw our draft. We're going to get Morrison. Second round, I'm going to draft that guard. Third round, we're going to get that D tackle. And this is going to be an all-time draft. Second round, Austin Watkins. First round talent. Yes, sir. And then let's grab our 90, it's got to be probably 97, 98, maybe even 99 strength defensive nose tackle. And looking at our draft recap, outstanding for the 3 picks we really wanted to hone in on. Dion Foster, 76. This guy, we might have been able to get this guy in like the 5th round, 6th round. Overdrafted him maybe, but 76 normal dev out the gate in the 3rd round is outstanding. Watkins, who we did full scouting on in the 2nd round, 75 hidden dev right guard, plug and play. And John Morrison, 75 hidden dev wide receiver. He's going to be able to get on the field and contribute right away with that 92 speed, 96 jumping. What an athlete. What a draft class for the defending, reigning Super Bowl champion Detroit Lions. Year 2 for the Lions, and here we are trying to defend our year 1 Super Bowl victory. And our squad is only stronger. We now have a X Factor in Amon-Ra St. Brown. We have a very nice wide receiver 3 in John Morrison. We have a very nice upgraded right guard in Watkins. I think both Sam Laporta and Jameson Williams are going to have opportunities to get those up to Goldie boys, superstar dev traits by the end of this season. On the defensive side, we have a new defensive tackle, 99 strength monster to play alongside Alim McNeil. Hutchinson and James Houston are going to be our pass rush. We have White coming over from the Bucks in free agency and superstar Rodrigo as our 2 linebackers, superstar Joseph and CJ GJ. Cam Smith, superstar, Jeff Okuda in the slot, Sutton on the outside. Absolutely, we are ready to run this back here in year 2. Coming to you live, midway point of year 2. It feels like, this is what we did last time. Year 1, we brought to the midway point after a Packer loss. History repeats itself. And at this point last year, I think we had a little bit more in the wins department, but maybe this is like the good luck charm. Lose to the Packers midseason, go on and win a Super Bowl. We have $90 million of available salary cap. We need to be smart with our money. That's exactly what we're going to try to do. I think you look at someone like Alim McNeil, 3 years at that price point. He's developed nicely under us. No problem. St. Brown, bona fide stud. See if we can just bump this up a little bit, not overpay. 4 years, $84 million deal for an X Factor wide receiver. Decker is an interesting one. I feel like that's not bad for 2 years. And then by the time that he's expensive and old, we're going to be able to move on and find a new left tackle to protect Lamar Jackson. And honestly, what a joke of a season. Nothing like being the defending Super Bowl champions and not even going above 500. All 8 of our wins were against teams that I expected us to win. All 9 of our losses were against any remotely playoff caliber team. Like any good team we went up against, we lost to this year. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. No other way to kind of break it down, man. You're defending Super Bowl champions and you play... I mean, I would actually be surprised if we didn't play particularly bad. We just had a tough schedule, and we lost against all the good teams. 4,800 yards, 36 touchdowns for Lamar is very good. Our rushing attack was good. Our receiving attack, Amon-Ra St. Brown, over 100 catches, 13 yards, 11 tutties. 1,007 for Williams. Laporta, 8-7. John Morrison, our hidden dev, I believe he was he our first round or second round pick? I believe he was our second round pick. Superstar. He fell to us. Still there on the board. Take it. We'll take it. Defensively, Devin White, tackle machine. Rodrigo was solid. Defensively, in terms of pass rush, down a little bit from Aiden Hutchinson, but that's still a respectable season. 78 tackles, 18 TFLs, 10.5 sacks, 3 picks. I mean, we've got to get more turnovers in the secondary. Our secondary is a lot better, and I would like to think a little bit more ball hockey than what we just saw right there. Mahomes is the MVP, and just quickly burning through. John Morrison is offensive rookie of the year. That could be it's a stretch, but that could very well be a second X Factor at wide receiver alongside St. Brown, which would be ridiculous. Lamar Jackson's quarterback of the year. Like, it wasn't a bad year. We had guys that performed well. We just lost a lot of close games, which is that a valid excuse? No, not really. We should have. This is like a 10-11 win team minimum. We should have been right there with the Vikings in the top spot in the NFC North, but we're not. Number 1 passing defense, number 6 passing offense. Just, we got to stop the run a little bit better. Then closing on year 2, Morrison is up to an X Factor, which is, hey, you get 3 on offense. We'll take that. It's going to be very hard to maintain the type of production for both these guys to keep their X Factor after next season, but I'll definitely take an X Factor worth of development for Morrison for sure. I mean, that even might have him pass Jameson Williams in terms of rating next season when all is said and done. Watkins, our other hidden dev rookie on the offense, just popped as a star dev. On the defensive side of the football, as it relates to dev traits, no one in the front 7 went up or down. No one in the secondary went up. We did lose a star dev on Cam Sutton, but that's, minimal damage for total flop of year 2 in this rebuild. Looking ahead to the draft, we're skipping free agency. We have massive contracts upcoming of guys that I want to keep in the building. But have you ever seen anything like this? Do I trade a bunch of picks up to get? I'm thinking about it. And somehow in the most recent mock draft, he's going at pick 7. I was thinking I might have to mortgage the next couple drafts. I might be able to move up with giving up another first round pick. If I have to move up to say 6 or even 5, but ideally if I only have to move up to 6, I could probably get 6 for pick 14, and maybe I just throw this draft. I give our first, second, and third round pick this year to move up 7 spots. All right, got a little bit more expensive. Final mock draft. This is roughly the order they will go in. We're going to need to trade up to either the 4th or the 5th pick right up from the Texans. I've just never seen that. I want to know what that's going to look like on the other end, Have you ever seen 4 A's for a corner? All right, we're going to start the draft. Let's get through the first 3 picks, because I feel like that's going to be just way too expensive to move up for, and he's expected to go pick 5. So let's see. Pick 1 goes pass rusher. Pick 2, the Rams select Elliott. Pick 3, the Cardinals select Keith Bacon. Pick 4. Okay. We need this pick. How do I make this work? I need this. Straight up ask them what they want. They want our first round this year, our first round next year, and a 3rd round next year. You know what? Given where I think we're going to be, given that our first round pick next year is hopefully going to be in the late 20s, for a 4A chance at a, freak of nature, 1 of 1 type corner. Now, okay, I guess I wish he was 6'3", and I wish maybe his combine he ran 4.2 or something like that. But this guy here has got to be an incredible player. If you have 4 A's, and athletically speaking, he's like a B+. I don't even know what this rating could be. 83, 82, 81? Really, my second pick, I need a pass rusher. I need someone that might be able to offer a little more juice off the edge. And of course, there's nothing but, developmental guys and not pass cover. Pass coverage linebacker, don't need them. Do not need them. So I think we just kind of go BPA at this spot. The only other thing I was thinking of is that left tackle here. We have JP McKee. He's fallen out of the first round. We do maybe want to look at Taylor Decker's successor. I don't know if this is going to be. We have A, awareness, B, run block, but the combine, not the best. 24 reps of he might be like a decent high floor, low ceiling type players with the kind of vibes I'm getting there. So I'm more so looking at inside of D-tackle. You get the double A, double B here on Phelps. 310, runs 4.96. This guy's going to be great. BPA all day. Another second. Man, the draft capital this freaking Lions team has. A lot of 12-man personnel here for the Detroit Lions offense, so I figured why not bring in another tight end. We got Gabe Fox, hidden dev out of Oregon. Hey, look at our draft recap. 2 first-round picks for I don't know, man. I was hoping for a better, not even an 80. I mean, we need corner, especially with Sutton losing his dev trade pretty much at that point, right? We have Okudah in the slot, Cam Smith on the outside. We need another outside corner, which is what we can do here with Creighton. 90 speed, got good jumping. I don't know. I mean, this is definitely going to be dev trade pending. If he's a star dev and we traded 2 first-round picks for a 79 star dev, even though he had 4 A's for his stats, that's gonna be pretty rough. Like, maybe he had those 4 A's because the draft class was weak at corner. I don't know. But if that's like a superstar dev or higher, I'm taking that pick all day long at pick 5. Phelps was our BPA D tackle. He's 75 with a hidden dev. Fox was another BPA at backup tight end, 74 with a hidden dev. We hit on a 72 overall running back here out of New Mexico late in the 5th round. It's a good draft class. Very good draft class. And we saved all of our money, all of our cap room to extend our big-time contracts for our big-time players in the upcoming season into. Year 3, and here's a look at our Detroit Lions. It almost feels like a super team at this point. We got Lamar Jackson, 95 X Factor. David Montgomery's almost a 90 overall. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 95 X Factor. Jameson Williams, 99 speed, 84. We have another X Factor wide receiver in Morrison. Offensive line, 84, 81, 92, 80, and 95 for Sewell. 2 dev trade tight ends. No worries. On the defensive side, Aiden Hudson's just a ridiculous X Factor. And while I do like Foster and his strength, he doesn't have the dev trait, so we'll put Phelps in there with McNeil. We have Smith, Okudah, and Creighton in the secondary. Superstar in Joseph. Superstar in Rodrigo. Devin White and CJ GJ, 90 overall. This is, if we can keep this core together and Lamar Jackson doesn't regress too much in years 4 and 5, even this year at the end of year 3, we might have a chance to have our highest overall rated rebuild team in all of Madden 23 when all is said and done. 2 and 4. 2 and 4. I say it twice. I don't believe it. Midway point of year 3, 2 and 4 with our super team. Look at our contracts. We got Sewell, 5-year deal, easy, without blinking. Montgomery, I think we have other players that I need to prioritize right now. Kirby Joseph, superstar safety, yep, gotta keep you. Rodrigo, fan favorite, yep, gotta keep you. 3-year, 14 mil, laughing at that, as long as he doesn't lose that dev trade. I mean, outside of that, I mean, yeah, I think we might be able to get a bigger game changer than David Montgomery at running back. Let's do it. I mean, put it this way, Montgomery, he's going to be the guy that falls on the grade aid right now of our re-signings because we're 2 and 4. It's your fault. I'm putting all the blame on you. We won 9 of our final games to go 11 and 6 and win the division. I take that back. All right, David Montgomery, I had unwarranted aggression. I just should have trusted the plan, trusted the script. Wow, we actually played lights out to close the year out. Lamar Jackson, whoa, not good. Not good. What happened here? What happened? I mean, luckily, you know, I mean, he's losing his X Factor. We kind of knew that was expected. We're gracious that he had the X Factor. Shadow Jameson Williams, clearly someone my depth chart reset, and he became the slot wide receiver, I guess. Defensive, yeah, he definitely did, because I had Morrison in the slot. Devin White, a bunch of tackles. Sacks are back up for Hudson, 11 TFL, 16.5 sacks. Interceptions are still non-existent for the Detroit Lions. But that's fine, because interceptions don't tell the whole story. You can still be very good secondary and not have a lot of turnovers. Looking at the yearly awards. Ragnell, Lineman of the Year, cool. Will I give him X Factor? Or is he star? Maybe they'll bump him up to superstar. And speaking of dev traits, how is our beloved corner that we traded 2 first-round picks for and was below an 80 overall? We got duped in with 4 A's that he was going to be a generational talent, and he's normal. Oh, let's go, man. Get up my brightness. That looked bronze for a second there. Creighton, 79 out the gate X Factor rookie. Every day of the week, I'll trade multiple first-round picks for that, given that corner was one of our positions of need. So year 2, we were unable to defend our Super Bowl title, but we're back in year 3, and we start in the wild card round against the Carolina Panthers. Let's fucking lose 2017. What? Why are we scoring no? Why was our offense so bad this year? Just all right. They got Justin Herbert, and Lamar did not play good. That's why we lost. In closing year 3, I expected Lamar and Morrison to lose their dev traits. They did not. Ragnow gained a superstar dev because he got lineman of the year. I don't know how. This is honestly one of. I don't know how. Like I thought Lamar was not good at all this season and does not lose his extra. I mean, maybe everyone else had it down here. That's the only thing that I can assume. And I thought for 1,000, he had 700 yards this year, and he didn't lose his. Like I've had guys get like 1,200 receiving yards and lose a dev trait. I mean, I don't want to complain because this is very good for us that the dev traits remain intact on the offensive side of the ball. But it's almost like you think about it in other years. And it's like, well, what's going on here? We did lose superstars on Joseph and Rodriguez on the defensive side of the football. Phelps was our hidden dev D tackle. He is star. But I think all in all, the fact that we have another X factor to add in this secondary, we'll take those 2 hits for Joseph and Rodrigo. And for a free agency, you got a very affordable David Montgomery replacement. Now, David Montgomery was 88 overall, but he was 29 years old. So for next season, and more importantly, year 5, Breece Hall is a better long-term option for us in that backfield. So really for this draft, it's our team we need a pass rusher and maybe a young lineman at some point. Looking at the pass rushers that are currently available, it is slim pickings. I'm not seeing a whole lot of like, yes, go draft that guy. Again, even like the decent looking linebackers are pass coverage linebackers, not pass rushers. This guy here might be the best of the bunch. Max King out of UNLV, 6'3", 240. He's a speed runner. He does have Ely, but I don't know. Ely speed, that's about it. That's all he got going for him. So I think going just with the best lineman available, which allows us to kind of shuffle around because Taylor Decker's not getting any younger. And the best alignment, oh my God, look at this. Oscar Flynn, 3 A's and a B. He is round 1, round 2 talent. And I had a center that looked pretty good here. Lance Butler, 3 A's and a B as well. But obviously neither one of these guys really had the profile, like 6'2", 303. He's very much an interior lineman. And Oscar Flynn, 6'3", 3. Again, not the. I mean, we'll just still take them. Get both of them. They're both going to be great. So the center that I wanted was gone by our pick in the 4th round. I forgot that the 3rd rounder is what we included to trade up last year to get our corner. But Flynn, 73 overall, is not bad in the 2nd round. I mean, I wish there was a dev trait attached to that. But is what it is, man. We got an X Factor corner last year and a 73 guard. That's not bad for 2 drafts. Year 4 for the Detroit Lions. This went from like a dynasty rebuild because we won Super Bowl in year 1. I thought we were going to win like multiple ones to can we prove that we're not one-hit wonders and we can get back to the dance. Our team, very good. We have a brand new running back, flipping out David Montgomery for Breece Hall. Everyone else is the same and ready to run it back. Frank Ragnow is now a superstar, 2 superstars on the offensive line. You can't stop it. It's a juggernaut. I mean, I guess you can make the argument we're still looking for that other pass rush to have like a complete team, and maybe our D tackles could be a little bit better, but our secondary is elite. 86, 91, 86, 87 superstar, 84 X factor. And I think you throw in Aiden Hutchinson there. I mean, it's not, this team doesn't really have any weakness because Hutchinson is the guy that will get us almost 20 sacks a season if he's on point. So hopefully we don't start as slow and we finish 12, 13 wins, somewhere in that territory. Maybe get that 1st round bye here in year 4. Not gonna lie, I'm sick of these shit midway point starting points. When you start the season, you sit in mid-season. 3 and 4, that is severely underperforming right now. Contracts, guys we need for the 5th and final. We have $95 million. We're going to spend a lot of that. I don't think we're going to have crazy money to spend on the open market because we're going to have to back up the Brinks truck there for Hutchinson. Ragnow might not come. Like all these guys having low interests. Come on. We got 1 year left. Let's suck it up. Let's play together and win another Super Bowl. Literally everybody wants more money. What about you? Can anybody take a player-friendly contract? Hey, Cam Smith. Thank you. Taylor Decker. Can we do better on the open market? I'm not so sure. Sam Laporta. Offer you a 4-year deal. This is brutal. Trying to run it back here, fellas. You take a 1-year deal? There you go. See, take someone like that, a true line through and through. Hutchison, Ragnow, Jamo, Laporta. Look yourself in the mirror. You should be sick with yourselves. We're able to string together. It was like we won 2, lose 1, and like that's still you could make the playoffs, winning double to losses, even though it's not a 2 loss, 3 loss season. 11-6. Even while that's underperforming for a 91 overall team, I'll take 11-6 and another divisional title. I know our passing offense picked it up this season. Lamar won Player of the Week a couple times, and look at that, 4,700 yards, 39 touchdowns to 8 picks. Our rushing attack, very good, 1-2 punch there, Hall and Chase Brown. 11-11 for Jameson Williams, 1,000 yards for St. Brown. Sam Laporta, him and Frank Ragnow were the only 2 players that didn't agree to a contract extension. They hit us with, I want to test out free agency. So, all right, we'll see how that all works out for you. Defensively, both Rodrigo and Devin White going for 130 tackles, 15.5 sacks on 17 TFLs for Hutchinson, 4 picks. Devin White, 4 picks. Cam Smith, I like seeing that. Yearly awards MVP goes to Dwayne Neighbors of the Dolphins. Lamar coming in at number 3. Would be cool at some point to win the MVP with Lamar Jackson, but quarterback of the year, he'll have to settle for that. I believe that's the 2nd time he's been able to win that award. Rest of the awards, unfortunately, nothing for the Detroit Lions. Let's see if we can go to the playoffs here and not be one and done here in year 4. I'm not going to hold my breath, though, because that's just kind of the nature of the beast here. And there you go. I'm not even going to check that. We get shit pumped by the Falcons, 42-28. I promise you, you see it, dev trait regression is, how are these guys not losing dev trait? And Laporta went up a dev trait. I don't know. I don't know how it's happening because we've lost more than enough dev traits on the defensive side of the ball. But luckily, we didn't lose anything last year. Devin White went from star up to a superstar. I think everything else kind of remained the same. I just cannot explain. I've had borderline, I need to edit and fix type regressions in previous rebuilds, yet I don't think this guy's gone over 1,000 yards yet, and he has not lost his X factor. Okay. So this is huge for us. We have $57 million in salary cap, and we're going to start by franchise tagging Laporta, and we're going to let Frank Ragnow hit the open market. And honestly, I'm probably just try to overbid and bring him back as well. Put up some ridiculous money for the 2 players that would literally complete our roster. We have Zach Harrison, just because our secondary pass rusher, not named Aiden Hutchinson, hasn't been the best. And even then, we come with the 3rd best offer. Frank Ragnow, I went with the best, super, very player-friendly offer, and then I added $2 million on both the salary and the bonus, and I'm still not even the top bid on them. So I'm not super optimistic we'll get both of them, but I am somewhat optimistic. We lost Ragnow. Frank Ragnow despises the Detroit Lions organization, but we were able to grab Zach Harrison, so at least, in the first round, we could target the top center in the draft, and generally center is the least important position on the entire team for a rebuild, as far as I can tell. Remember back in Madden 20, I think I had literally a 12 overall center, and we still had a top 5 rushing offense. Good times, good times. Now, it didn't look like a particularly strong center class, but we'll do what we need to, and it's really between Darnell Norman out of South Carolina. We have A, impact blocking. That's the only information we have. He has elite change of direction, decent strength. He's a good athlete. Or Dakota Bulla from Clemson, where we have B, run block, C, pass block, but a much better athlete, kind of. My train of thought, better athlete almost always has a dev trait. Fuck me, I guess. I wonder if I can get that other center. Can I just draft both centers, 1st and 2nd round? Yes, sir. There's a good center in this. Fuck. You know what? We've drafted so well. I guess the wheels falling off the final year. I think we'll survive. So our 2 centers. 72 and 70. Not brutal ratings. The fact that they're normal dev, however, not the best. But Dakota Bulla, you are the starting center of the Detroit Lions next season. Congrats. Here we go. A team that I hyped up as a potential super team. I think we're pretty close still to a super team. Maybe not the best team we've had so far, but still really, really damn good. I wonder what our rating would have been if we kept Ragnar at center, even though he despises, hates everything Detroit, apparently. But LAMAR, I mean, he's the man of the hour. We know it's on the defense. We know it's on the offense. It's all about QB8, the man that while we're doing this rebuild. And he has absolutely thrived here for the most part in Detroit. He's got a Super Bowl, and he's looking to finish with a Super Bowl. On the defensive side, we had Zach Harrison. Hopefully that's enough of a pass rush juice to really, maybe we get someone else other than Aiden Hutchinson. I don't think anybody not named Aiden Hutchinson has got double-digit sacks in this rebuild, so maybe we'll have a chance of doing that here in year 5. After a 7-0 start, we finish the season 13-4, which I believe is our third, maybe fourth. Definitely at least 3 NFC North titles in this video. Didn't do enough to get the first round bye, and we already know we're probably going to get bumped by a team that's barely above 500. But let's enjoy it for while we feel pretty good about ourselves. 4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns for LAMAR. Solid season under Breece Hall. Amon-Ra St. Brown, excellent. J-Mo, excellent. Really, all 4 of our wide receivers had respectable seasons. Defensively, White and Rodriguez were great. 20 sacks, 20 TFLs for Aiden Hutchinson, the 2020. 10.5 sacks for Harrison, getting that double-digit sack number that we've been looking for. Our X-Factor corner, Jermaine Creighton, leads the team with 3 interceptions. And while we're here, because I just already know that we're going to lose this first game, let's take a look at our career stats for this rebuild. Lamar Jackson up to 35,000 yards passing, 268 touchdowns to 81 picks. He's definitely taken his game to another level as a passer here in Detroit, as well as 5,500 rushing yards, 39 rushing touchdowns. On the receiving end, 8,400 yards, Amon-Ra St. Brown to go with 58 touchdowns, 5,800 yards, 37 touchdowns for Jamison Williams. Laporta's been awesome for us, 4,600 yards, 32 touchdowns. And then Morrison, I don't know how he's not lost his X Factor, but God bless him. That's the hardest working X Factor in the NFL. Devin White did a lot of that with the Bucs. So Rodrigo, 660 tackles, 36 TFLs, 93 TFLs, 89 sacks for Aiden Hutchinson. Absolute monster in today's video. That was awesome to see. Again, most of those interceptions didn't happen with us, and that was probably the only disappointment. And again, interceptions are not the be-all, end-all for a good pass coverage, good secondary, but the interception numbers were pretty bad for most of this rebuild here for the Detroit Lions. But hey, we won the Super Bowl in year 1. We've been playing with house money ever since, and we've been honestly underperforming ever since. We need to prove this year that we weren't a one-hit wonder. And we barely win, 14-13. Our run continues. Next up is the 11-6 Seattle Seahawks. We're just running through the NFC West. Oh. We'll play the moments on this one. Just in case you're last, at least it's a championship game. We're a game away from the Super Bowl, a lot on the line. Anthony Richardson and the Atlanta Falcons going against Lamar Jackson and the Detroit Lions, and we are just trading touchdowns. First offensive drive for each. Atlanta gets a field goal to get a 3-point lead. We're marching our way down the field. We are not settling for field goals. Touchdown, and then the Falcons with a quick response. And then the Detroit Lions, we tied up at 17-17. Everything to play for in the second half. Great opening drive for the Detroit. Gets a touchdown to go up 24-17. Atlanta marches right down the field and gets a touchdown. We go right down the field. Touchdown. Missed the extra point. But luckily, we're piloting on here a little bit. Another touchdown and another missed extra point. Hopefully, it does not come back to bite us in the ass. But it looks like we were just kind of taking the game over here in the fourth quarter, suffocating Atlanta Falcons. They get a little bit of a, I don't want to say that was a garbage time touchdown, but that was kind of a garbage time touchdown as both Lamar and AR-15 ball out. But it is the Detroit Lions at the buzzer in year 5 getting back to the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl has been set to the oldest franchises in the NFL. Lamar Jackson and a team that he knows very well from his time in Baltimore. It is going to be the Detroit Lions taking on Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers. How did he end up there? All right, let's see what we can do here, man. Looking for our second Super Bowl of the rebuild with our borderline super team. Both teams start off pretty hot, scoring touchdowns on their opening drive. We're able to march down there in the second quarter, get a touchdown. Pittsburgh settles for a field goal. Is that how this is going to be? We get touchdowns, they get field goals. We will find out. And we end the first half, no points. That's disappointing. Would have liked to see even a field goal there to give us that touchdown cushion. And we might need to hop in here. We're going to come in. 4th and 4. Can we give them a little bit of life? We'll go stick and nod. Honestly, I might just take off with Lamar if I need to. Yep. Oh, that is my least favorite thing in this game, man. 100%. Like, how does Lamar get sucked into that defensive tackle? He got sucked in. Phrasing. I hate that, man. That happened so many times in pink slips when I was Malik Willis. Where it's like, okay, here goes my 90-some, like, just freak athlete, and he's going to get tackled from behind by a 330-pound D tackle who's still engaging in a block. Oh, well, when all is said and done, Lamar actually played unreal again today. We got our Super Bowl year 1. It works out. Detroit, maybe don't care about Jared Goff's feelings. Go get Lamar Jackson. Or don't, and Philly can just run away with the NFC again. But if you do get Lamar Jackson, you might be the second best team in the NFC. I'll put that out there. I'll just say that right now. So think about it. Detroit Lions fans, if you're watching today's video, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Would you trade what I traded for Lamar Jackson? It might even cost a little bit more, but would you, whatever, overall, would you want the Detroit Lions to come in with an aggressive offer for Lamar, or do you want to keep your picks? And I guess trust that Jared Goff can bring you guys to a Super Bowl. I mean, you know, maybe crazier things have happened. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. But that'll do it for me today, guys. I actually have something that I'm working on. Obviously, we have the ChatGPT stuff. Go check that out yesterday. I thought it was super unique video. But I have something that's related to mods. A mod series that is coming that I think is going to be absolutely fucking awesome. I don't know what the ETA is on that. I have some people that are much smarter than me that are going to be helping me with that series. But it's like the perfect endgame Madden 23 type series, and that should be coming. Or at least some information on that will be dropping this week, if not early next week. So stay tuned for that one. Let me know in the comment section below any other rebuilds you want to see on the channel. And that'll do it for me today, guys. So if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Until next time, it's your boy C4 saying peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.